What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're here to go ahead and talk the PvP update. This is my ideal PvP update. It's not really what I'm expecting to come. I'm not really expecting some of this stuff to actually come, but in an ideal world, you know, if they absolutely smashed everything out of the park, they would do this. Obviously, ideas will be different between different people. This is just what I want to see, personally. Obviously, if you have some different ideas, let me know down in the comment section down below, but we're going to go ahead and separate today's video in 3 different sections: casual, ranked, and free roam. Each little section has some points that I've written down, which we're going to go ahead and talk about now. So, let's do this. Not so fast, not so fast. There's one thing you forgot to tell everyone. Subscribe for more Need for Speed content. So many of my viewers aren't subscribed. I'm not going to ramble about this again. You saw it on the last video. If you didn't, go watch the last video. But go subscribe if you haven't already. It would be much appreciated. More Need for Speed and other racing games on the channel. So let's go ahead and start with casual. Casual is just as important as ranked and just as important as free roam. I guess free roam and casual, they're going to kind of have some stuff which blends over. But casual is just your normal casual race mode. In here, you'd have your normal races, your normal party modes, and private lobbies. At the moment, there's no way to go into a private lobby with friends, which is insane that a game in 2020 doesn't have that feature. Same with Horizon as well. You can't do that in Horizon. I find it nuts that these games don't have any private modes. There should just be an option where if you want to play in a lobby with your friends and no one else, you should be able to do that. That should be a basic necessity of online play in 2020. So that has to be a thing in casual. Normal races, so you know, if you want to practice for ranked, or maybe you just want to have a few races online, you can go ahead and do that. But most importantly, what's really going to make this mode, you know, like kind of stand out compared to the other 3, what makes it special, is its party modes. So Need for Speed has not had party modes pretty much ever since this generation, anyway. It might have had party modes, you know, in Most Wanted 2012, but not in a very long time, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I don't really know why, either. Like, it's the perfect place for it. Now, obviously, the net code is absolutely terrible. You'll see that in the Undefeated Racing League highlights, which will be up over the next few days. So they definitely need to sort that, but it will be a perfect place for modes like King and Infected. I was going through the old history books and looking at some of the older Need for Speed party modes that were in Carbon and Undercover, and modes like these, like this is the lap knockout, but with police. So when you get knocked out, you turn into a police car. This is Cops and Robbers from Undercover, one of my favorite modes that I actually played during, you know, when it was alive and all that kind of stuff. These are the types of modes which they should be really capitalizing on. Don't just copy what everyone else is doing. The Crew and Forza, you know, they've been doing King and Infected. Why don't you add a Need for Speed twist on it? You know, add stuff like the Pursuit knockouts, etc, etc. I don't see any reason why this can't be done, and I think it would be really cool to see this in the game. And that pretty much kind of rounds up casual. Casual is a pretty basic thing, really. You gotta have your normal races, your party modes, and then your private lobbies, which you can host, change the settings in. I don't really think casual needs to be overly complicated. Like, that's all it needs to be. Like, it needs to be simple, because in the end of the day, if you're going into casual, you're not taking anything seriously, you just want to race, and I think that is basically what that mode should be. We're actually going to move over ranked. I'm going to talk about ranked a little bit later, because that's a little bit more in depth. I guess free roam makes more sense to talk about because it is a lot more casual, and a lot of the stuff will cross over, so we're going to go ahead and touch on that next. So similar to casual, private matches should also be a thing in free roam. So if you want to, you know, create a free roam lobby where you can invite your mates and your mates only, you should also be able to do lobby settings in free roam private matches. So if you want to restrict cars, or if you want to restrict no police or no weather or whatever, give all those options available to the player. Blueprints in Horizon is a perfect example of how games do this correctly in 2020. Again, giving choices to the player. Like, I don't know why no one does this anymore, but give me absolutely every option you could possibly have. So that's the traffic, you know, collisions, car classes, maybe even like the make of cars, the country of origin for those cars. Like, absolutely scram everything into the settings, because they're really going to get used by the community. Even sections of the map, like, you know, if you only wanted to pick like the city area, let me do that. If you only wanted to pick the country routes, like just give us all the basically the options that you could possibly give us. These will get used by people when they're creating custom games and custom matches in their own little lobbies without the need for a custom mode creator or mods or anything. Like, it just gives the community so much freedom, and that will naturally add so much time into the multiplayer. Custom races should also be a point, whether that's a custom route creator or just, you know, recreating the routes that are in there now with different car classes and different PPI amounts, and, you know, with certain restrictions. That needs to be a thing, because at the moment there's only like one type of race. What I mean by that is, in Horizon, if you go to a race, you can do it in spring, winter, summer. You can do it in S1, S2, you know, A class, B class, front wheel drive, rear wheel drive. In Need for Speed, if you go to a race, you can only do it in whatever the PPI amount is and whatever car fits that mold. It's not like you can go into it and say, I want to do hot hatches here and that's it. Like, there's no freedom with the events. It's just, here's the event, do it. As we're in Horizon, you can literally pick what people bring to the event, etc, etc. Now, I'm not saying Need for Speed needs to be Horizon, but freedom in that way, and you know, freedom in that context is always, you know, welcome in my opinion. And it's elements like that where they can learn from Horizon from, not taking off-road out in the game. I'm not going to talk about that in this video. You already know why I don't like it. If you don't, you should go ahead and watch the video in a card somewhere up there after this one, of course. And finally, the killer app for free roam should be Burnout style free roam challenges. I feel like a fucking broken record saying this. Why have we not got these, Ghost? Look at me. Yeah, we need these now. I'm not going to explain this for too much longer because I feel like I mention this every other video. Burnout style free roam challenges. Give me a range of 1 player all the way up to 8 player challenges with rewards when you complete certain sections. And I'm not saying flamingo neon, I don't want to see that. Cool stuff like maybe if you unlock all of the 8 player challenges, you unlock the Mantis body kit for your R34. So then you can actually use it and like in your own game and stuff instead of having to mod it in, etc. That way it then still keeps it really exclusive. But if you have it and you have your own livery on it, then you know you're either a modder or you've grinded really hard to get that car. And just absolutely front load challenges, like give me loads. Like there needs to be so many challenges that I'm like, whoa, this is insane. And then for every like categories, there'll be 8 player, 7 player, 6 player, 5 player, 4 player, 3 player, etc. There's different associated rewards for going through the progression tree in every single one of those. And like I said, you can reuse content for that. Like you could easily have every hero car body kit in each specific one. You could have body kits, you know, new body kits in there as well if you didn't want to reuse stuff. So I think there's a lot of ways that can go with that. I think making sure the rewards are something which people actually want to go for, and also making sure there are a range of activities that are interesting. You know, like place up the monorail, and then you've got the shipment containers. There's so many things you can do with that for challenges and stuff. I don't see any reason why they couldn't do this. So boom, that needs to be in there as well. And that kind of rounds it up for my free roam stuff, really. In a perfect world, if we got an update like this, I actually don't know what I'd do. I think I'd scream. To be honest, there's no reason why they can't do this. Like, it's been since November, so am I expecting this? No, but it will be pretty cool. And finally, we're gonna go ahead and move on to what I think is the juiciest section of this video, ranked. Now, I can imagine a lot of people probably sitting there thinking, ranked? Oh, I don't like playing competitive ranked. I get that. I completely understand why people would say that, but I think what is gonna make this portion of the video so interesting is that I have a little bit of the video dedicated to pink slips and wages, which we're gonna talk about in a little minute. But ranked should be in the format of Need for Speed 2015. If you remember Need for Speed 2015, you have 5 speed lists. At the end of the speed list, you get given, you know, a place within the little tournament league. And then after the whole speed list, you get a actual rank, kind of similar to Payback in that way. Ranks and rewards should matter. You should get exclusive rewards for finishing higher. And obviously, because we know Need for Speed Heat is going to be a seasonal game, the seasonal rank thing could change season upon season, with, you know, designated rewards then resetting and then obviously continuing. What would I want the rewards to be? Just meaningful. Maybe, you know, special edition cars, you know, maybe blacklist edition cars could be, you know, a thing in the multiplayer. So if you finish at a really high rank, you get, I don't know, Vix Supra or something across those lines. And that would be the main bulk of the ranked mode in the game. The other bulk of the ranked kind of section in the game, portion of the game, would be pink slips and wages. So this all kind of goes towards your universal rank in the game. You'd have the race mode, which is what I just talked about. It's the Need for Speed 2015 Inspire mode where you go through tournament style. But then you also have pink slips and wages separately. So for wages, my idea in my head is you do it Black Ops 1 style where there's different payouts. Easy, medium, and hard. So easy would be like 10k, nothing major, just a little bit of money. Medium would then be hundreds of thousands, and then hard would be millions. They are never gonna do this because, you know, I think they're way too scared of, you know, people getting angry at the game for playing. I think the easy way of getting around that is making sure that there's a level cap off the hard ones. Like if you have to be level 50 to compete in the harder events, then that's going to completely stop people who haven't got any money going into, you know, the big event. Likewise, if you're level 50 and you don't know what you're doing, that's your fault, and I feel like, you know, you should be punished if you lose that. Like, I don't think any games do that enough nowadays. Like, I don't think games punish you enough. I think if you go into a million lobby, you know, wager mode and then you lose, like, that's your fault. Like, that's a whole different story anyway for a different day. I'm not going to talk about it in this video. But that's how I'd have the wager structured, and then pink slips should be done on a PPI value. Now, this is going to be pretty controversial until, you know, stuff is actually balanced in the game, like the RSR needs to be balanced, etc, etc. But, you know, once all that's done, I'd love a pink slips mode in this game, honestly. Even if it was only possible with friends, like, I just love to see that in a game, especially about street racing, illegal car culture. Could you imagine pink slip races with Heat level 5 event police? I think that would be absolutely insane. Again, a missed opportunity with the online. And obviously, if you won the wagers, and if you won the pink slips, it would go towards your overall ranked level, either making you go up or down. That's how I had it in my head. One of my subscribers, Divjar, actually mentioned to me earlier, apparently Blur did it quite well, where everyone gets ranked up instead of ranked down. I didn't play enough of Blur to say, but apparently that was quite a good way, and I just wanted to mention it in the video. I think overall, if they did even a handful of those things in the PvP update, which to be honest, I'm expecting at least 3 of these things to be in there. If burnout style free run challenges aren't in there, I'm gonna be really confused. If private lobbies aren't in there, I'll be really confused. And if party modes aren't in there, I'll be really confused. But to be honest, there's no reason why they can't hit all of these. This is my ideal PvP update. I put a lot of thought into this video. I've kind of delayed it for a very long time. But honestly, like, if they did any of this, I think it would be exceeding my expectations. Honestly, what I'm expecting from PvP, bare bones, probably casual and ranked, maybe private lobbies, although I'm very doubtful of that. Similar to Payback with, you know, just normal races, off-road races, and drift races, and that's it. I'm honestly not expecting anything. I'm expecting Payback, but fixed, and with a fixed ranked mode. If it's anything less than that, I will shoot myself, and if it's just that, I will be disappointed. It needs to be hitting some of these. They need to be reinventing what they do in Need for Speed multiplayer, because at the moment, they're not cutting it. Anyway, let me know if you agree in the card up top. I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe, and peace.